Good afternoon. Thanks for having me, and it's awesome to see all the energy out here. So, my name is Rok Kopp. I'm a co-founder of ether.fi. ether.fi is the first decentralized, institutional-grade liquid staking protocol. So, who here is familiar with staking on Ethereum? Anyone? Nice, great, good. So, I'll go through a couple things. Start off, I just want to touch on our investors, and I think the reason this is important is that we have really good investors who saw the same problem that we did. When you think about staking and where staking is, the market has grown immensely. So today it is a $1.5 billion market. Arguably, it's one of the things, along with stablecoins, that has found like true product market fit. It's a massive, massive industry, generates a lot of revenue, also provides security for the Ethereum protocol. So the current options for staking, the merge happened last year, and there was this transition where Ethereum went from a proof of work blockchain to proof of stake. Huge transition. The Ethereum team did an amazing job executing on it. But when that happened, the security relied on people staking their ETH. And so the options that were out there were custodial and centralized. And so I'll kind of walk through the different options that are in the market with the ETH that is currently staked. So you have non-custodial centralized node operators. That's about 5%. You have solo stakers. Rocket Pool has done an amazing job with this. They have thousands of nodes across the US and really have worked to decentralize Ethereum. You have custodial centralized, so this is the Krakens, the Coinbases of the world. The United States and the SEC specifically has come after these exchanges pretty hard, and it's been a challenge to move through the staking industry in that world. And then you have Lido. Lido has about 32% of the current stake on Ethereum. And so Lido, they've done a great job making liquid staking a reality. The majority of people who stake have probably heard of Lido. It's super, super easy, and the team basically created this liquid staking, made it a reality. But when they created it, they didn't know how withdrawals were going to work. And so there's a couple of things that kind of proved to be risks to the Ethereum network because of how the protocol is built. So one of those being how much ETH is staked with them. It's 33. Once it gets over 33% of a stake with one provider, there becomes systemic risk to the protocol, and it could really damage the whole network in whole. So that's a very important number for us to kind of stay under, or have Lido stay under. But the market needs to bring different staking solutions. So I'm going to talk about a couple of the risks that are facing Ethereum. And this is not just for institutions. This is for anyone who is staking. And you know, when you see it, you're like, hey, I'm holding Ethereum, I'm long Ethereum. Why not take an extra 5%? And totally makes sense, and I totally agree with that. I'm long Ethereum, and I'm going to stake too. So the first thing, there's a map up there, and there's two dots. 50% of Ethereum nodes are run between those two data centers. One is Herzner in Germany, and the other is US Amazon East. So what does that mean? That means if either of those data centers were to go down, a massive amount of ETH, or the network just couldn't run anymore. And so when you think about that, decentralization is so, so important to Ethereum. Like that's what the blockchain is built on and what they want to do and execute on. And having 50% of your nodes in two locations is far from decentralization. So you have a geographical centralization risk. The next one is a technological centralization risk. So there's a variety of different technological clients that execute these nodes. Geth is the most prominent one that is used. Basically what that means is if there was a bug in Geth, or Geth went down, validation on the network would stop. So that needs to diversify as well. That has been slowly coming down, but it's still a big risk. And then the last one, I talked about it a bit, but it's Lido. So like I said, they're at 32%. 33% is that number. Once they cross that threshold, it becomes a risk. And so no fault of Lido. They've done a fantastic job. They've created this industry. The team's done amazing stuff. And they've brought a ton of people into the staking market. I think it now is on the market to provide an option and to educate the market on what their other options are. So the brand awareness people have of Lido is so great, and it's so easy to use that people don't realize some of the risks that kind of come along with it. So one of those things that is super, super important is 32 validators are responsible for all the ETH that is staked on those. Those validators or node operators also control the keys to the ETH. So in return, you get stETH, but they have the ETH and they have the withdrawal keys for the ETH for those validators. So if something happens, if maybe an employee gets the keys or there's some bug, basically what would happen is you'd get a bank run scenario on stETH where one validator would be locked up and people would have trouble exiting the queue. And therefore, you could not redeem your stETH for ETH. So it's something that's super, super worrisome. And I think that that's what we set out to build and why we raised money to build it. So Ethereum staking is a bit different than other staking. Since it was a proof of work concept before and now a proof of stake, there's a little more complexity that goes with it. So the thing that we thought was super, super important was that you as the staker always maintain custody of your ETH. And so there's two keys that need to be generated. There's a withdrawal key and a validator key. Those keys in Lido, for example, sit with the node operators. They generate them, they have them. You as the staker have no access to it. You have your stETH token, which is a representation of your ETH that is staked with Lido. We give you the opportunity to generate your own keys and then spin up nodes with professional node operators. So you have custody, entire custody, all the rewards are earned to your validator, and if anything were to happen to one of the node operators, you still have custody of the ETH and you can exit at any time. The interesting thing that we've done as well is we've created 2 NFTs, and that's our bonding mechanism. So most people think of NFTs and they think of PFPs. These are actual NFTs that are representations of ETH. So the T NFT is 30 ETH and the B NFT is 2 ETH. That B NFT is soul bound to the validator. So once that is exited, the whole validator shuts down. And that's where you have access to the custody of your ETH. So I'm going to show a quick little demo here of how it works. And this is if you go to ether.fi. You come up here, you click stake. You basically are going to download these keys. You'll save them in a secure spot. Deposit your ETH. You upload your keys. That then goes to the node operator. The node operator decrypts them, spins up your node, and then you have a live node that is staked on the Ethereum chain. Rewards will start to earn to them. All staking rewards are consistent. Like some people will get a couple boosts here and there, but in general, it's going to be pretty much the same within a couple bips. So we think that the security of running your own node and having control of that in custody of the ETH is super important. So we have 3 real options. We have ether.fi. ether.fi is what you just saw. It's delegated ETH staking. You generate your keys. You have the withdrawal keys. You maintain custody the whole time. We have EETH. EETH is coming out in 6 weeks, but this is for the crypto degens who want to go get crazy in pools and earn more yield than that. So we'll have DeFi integrations kind of across the board. You can go earn more. And then we have our ETH staking fund. So the ETH staking fund is a hedge fund setup in the Cayman Islands. This is for people who want white glove service and don't want to basically do any of the staking procedure themselves. So it's very popular with our institutional clients because they don't want to keep custody of their keys, but they want to trust someone with it. And so we don't charge any fees on it, but it is a feeder into the ether.fi protocol if you wanted to go that way. We also have a product called ether.fan, and this is a tokenized liquid staking NFT. So it's a PFP NFT that accrues staking rewards to it. So you can stake fractional ETH, anything from 0.1 ETH or more, and your rewards will accrue to them. We've gamified this a bit, and we also give back all the protocol revenues that we generate to EtherFan stakers. And so we are able to generate higher APRs. So the current APR on it is around 11%. The other thing that we've done with this is we've put them with solo stakers across the globe. So we have over 100 solo stakers in 6 continents, in 25 countries that we have been able to get in with the ETH that we've staked. We have 20,000 ETH staked. We just launched in June, so it's been really good growth. We have that over 15,000 wallets. So we serve both institutional and retail clients, and we raised $5.3 million in March. We think it's super important your funds stay secured. We've gone through a bunch of audits. We want to make sure your assets are being protected. We have a team that has successfully built and exited companies before, and so we're super excited to bring that experience to the, Web3. And then the last thing is, I'll leave this up and go to a few questions, but we're super focused on being investor friendly. So we're the first liquid staking protocol that is natively integrated EigenLayer. If anyone's heard of EigenLayer, EigenLayer is restaking. It'll generate higher rewards. And so when you go and you mint ETH, you will be able to get increased rewards by restaking your ETH onto EigenLayer. So I appreciate everyone coming out. If you have any questions, happy to answer them. That's good. No, it's good.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, that one's working. You talked about the Hetzner and AWS problem, but I don't know if you mentioned specifically how you guys want to solve that. Could you talk about what you're doing there to kind of decentralize where the nodes are run on in terms of the data centers?
Yeah, so there's 2 things we're doing. One, everything that goes through ether.fi is going to solo stakers. So we have it's basically this initiative where you can get a free staking machine. You pay it off over 3 years, but from the Ethereum rewards you earn. But so that's how we've gotten the 100 validators out into the variety of different continents and countries we have. So that's one way to do it. The other thing is the node operator partners that we pick, we are very cautious about where they're running nodes from. So it's just part of our due diligence that we do on the front end. We want to make sure there's some type of bare metal. We stay away from the US and Canada for obvious reasons. So yeah, but really good question.
Awesome.
Works. So just piggybacking on the same question, the node operators that you select, how do you ensure that there's no centralization that's going to happen in that kind of node selection?
Yeah. So of the professional node operators that we use, we have 7 of them that are whitelisted, and no one can have more than 20% of the nodes that they're running on ether.fi. So that's one way. And then the other thing is we go through a deep due diligence process with each one of those to make sure we're comfortable with their process, what they're doing, how they're running things. So yeah, we have really great node operators. We're super happy with them.
So do you have a protocolistic kind of mechanism, or that's manual at the moment? It's
when you stake, you get to select your node operator.
I see.
And they have bids up there to basically take the stake.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. I think there's one right here. Oh, you got the dead one. Test. Oh, you got another one coming. There we go.
Okay, this is better. So you mentioned that each stacker is holding his own keys. Do you have programs that kind of helps the users know more about how to keep them secure?
Yeah, so we detail it on our site and how to keep using the air gap machine and the best practices to use. And if people aren't comfortable with generating their own keys and custodying their own keys, they can also just use the liquid staking token or ether.fi and kind of go that route. But yeah, it is one thing that is, I guess, more advanced crypto users to
Yeah.
generate and use their own keys.
Yeah, because this is, like you said, it's not very user-friendly on that side. But it's good as long as there are guides to help them through because, uh, for example, there are a lot of viruses lately that are targeting specifically those keys.
Totally.
Uh, Bitcoin miner, it's one of them. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.